All right, I should be recording now. Um, so I'm making this video briefly on, I guess, why some people never enter their power correctly. So I see like a lot of like tarot card readings on like the YouTube universe here, and people will often like recommend abandon your fears. I just want to caution against that in the most respectful way possible that makes sense. Sometimes your fears are there for a reason. Those are stops and checkpoints in your journey that are there for a reason. Um, it could be a past life memory, it could be an experience from a past life that you didn't necessarily learn from and you're here to learn it again. It could be some really bad karma that is unresolved and perhaps you're not meant to resolve it this time around. Um, Conquering your fears is not the same as dissolving them and discarding them. I want to point that out too. So conquering your fear means, of course, facing it head on, entering into battle, having a big hullabaloo situation with like maybe family or work, and sometimes it just is painful and traumatic. And it gets worse before it gets better. And it might not get better for many years. This is not something that you do on a whim, but your fears are there for a reason. Like I said, those are checkpoints. And some people are able to conquer their fears because they recognize them, they write them down, they can say them in a straight line in order what their fears are. And I say all that to say, like, I've always been afraid of a particular thing. But in recent months, I've decided to face it head on and move forward with that journey. But that took a lot of preparation. It took me, first of all, finding the right partner. It just so happens to be my husband at this point. Having the right space as far as the physical, where I'm living, the right headspace, the right family makeup. And it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And I have my rules on how family interaction is supposed to go for me to move forward with this, right? Discarding your fear with reckless abandon and acting like it's not there doesn't work for everybody. So that's why I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit here. I don't think that's the way to go for everyone. I don't think it will work for everyone, and it's not meant to. Some people are meant not to progress in these certain areas. Maybe I'll go in more detail on what my past life experience was, but that has held me up in this life a lot. And I honestly think I should devote that to a separate and second video. Your fears may manifest in weird ways, whereas you might not be afraid. Sometimes it might just be an uncomfortable situation. And you might be unable to conquer the situation or to get over the situation, perhaps because you failed to recognize certain synchronicities and coincidences that popped up. So, for example, if you were dating somebody and it just seemed to be going nowhere, but then an ex out of nowhere will text or call you, that might be a synchronicity to pay attention to. That might be a sign to shift directions and at least analyze the situation. Maybe you need a tarot reading. Maybe you need a 1 card a day for a month or for a year, right? Maybe you need a professional reading where someone reads it for you. Maybe you need a past life regression. Maybe you just need to not date. Okay. I would also say, like, if you're having an argument with family and friends, a great way to analyze what the situation really is about and what the fear really is, or rather, what you need to abstain from, is to go no contact. Go no contact. Take that time to yourself and for yourself. You deserve it. The only person running your life is you. You are the only person paying the price at the end of the day. And you're the person who has to live with that weight of this, that, and the other. On Reddit, there is a great subset page called Am I the Asshole? And on that page, you can see a lot of people like unsure of like what they're supposed to be doing. You even can see live readings of it on YouTube, on TikTok, and all that stuff. And those situations really bring some stuff home. And some of those stories are hard to listen to. It is really hard to listen to. I mean, people change the names and all that, but I find that listening to someone else's story sometimes can help give you a little bit of insight on your own. Every situation might not be for everybody. For example, if you are a very strict Christian person, your values might not be my values, because I abandoned Christian values. That I have nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with me. We're not going to handle situations necessarily the same because my worldview is very different from yours. However, if we have the same fear, we both can recognize mutually that we need to each take a step back, analyze, and look at how we're going to conquer the fear rather than to destroy it or discard it. And don't get me wrong, I have destroyed people. I have, because they triggered me, so I just had to embarrass them publicly, and then I went no contact after I did it, and that's a whole different video. But needless to say, I am respected, and I'm in charge. And when these persons or people come around me, they don't bring it up. I did get my apologies, but they don't bring it up. They don't want to be publicly shamed again, and they don't want to be no contacted again. When your enemies get together, sometimes that can feel like you're being ganged up on. Again, that's not necessarily a fear. That is your body telling you, okay, these people are getting together to come against me, so what I'm going to have to do is put up some defenses. That's not the same reaction. But conquering your fear and discarding and doing away with your fear are different things. And so, as I said, those fears are checkpoints in your journey. Like, those are ways to progress as a person. And those lessons are there for a reason. And it's not always comfortable, and it's not always pleasant, and it doesn't need to be. But how else are you going to do it? You going to live in fear? On my Facebook groups, like I'm in a few mom groups on social media, and I see a lot of posts of my significant other, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend is very abusive to me. My mother-in-law is always doing this, that, and the other, but times are tight, so we have to live with her and them. I rely on them for childcare. They are shaming me for going back to work. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? For me, I always put the domestic violence hotline number in the comments. Other people will as well. But again, that person is not able to take the appropriate action and conquer the fear or the attacker or avoid the attacker because they're stuck. And this is a checkpoint in their life that they need to work through. They don't have to do it alone, but for some reason they're stuck in this situation where the significant other or the mother-in-law is abusive. Even something as simple as naming your child can be very controversial. Like, family members will just decide, well, I'm going to call them this, and this is going to be their nickname. No. If you choose to call my child something else, you are choosing to be corrected every time. And I'm going to tell you straight like that. Don't do that. But again, the way I do things is not for everybody. I'm very abrasive. I will stand up for myself and speak up for myself every time. And you pretending to be ignorant isn't funny. It's not cute, and it's not adorable, and it's not, oh, well, I'm just set in my ways. No, don't even try that. You're not set in your ways. You're wrong. That's what you are. But to get over the fear and to work through the fear, acknowledging it is the first part. The second part is coming up with a plan and strategy to attack it or escape it, right? And it might be escaping and then conquering. And sometimes there might be nothing to conquer. Sometimes it might just be self-preservation, and that's how you conquer it. Save yourself. Save yourself the misery of being around this person, people, or experience. And when words have power and fears can manifest and holdbacks can manifest in these very physical ways that we see and experience, I think it can be hard to be a little bit selfish and go that route, but I'm sorry, I don't see how there's a way around it. Sometimes it just means preserving yourself and standing up for yourself and making people uncomfortable, like I said. If for some reason there is a fear that can't be conquered, or you're not sure if it's really a fear, if it's just a really terrible situation, again, that could just be a past life lesson that you need to learn and need to work out this time. This comes up in card readings I do for people. It comes up with friends and family. Someone asked me for advice yesterday. My brother asked me for advice yesterday on something. So that's why I'm doing this video, because I feel like this story needs to be told. Like certain coincidences and synchronicities that are happening, maybe you're not catching them. There are signs to pay attention to and to look for. I don't do really readings for the public too much anymore, but I'm thinking I'm going to need to because there seems to be such a huge need for it. I have my few people I read for. I have my regulars. And some people I don't even charge them because I read for them 2 and 3 times a year, and they're my friends, and that's fine. But my readings are spot on, and sometimes things that were already established that they're asking for, they already did, and then they realize, oh yeah, I did that, and then I'll give them a time frame of the month of the year that I perceive that this happened, and then the answer is correct. So if for some reason you're not sure what your hang up is, I might have a psychic page up again. I'm not really sure, you guys. I just want to make sure that everyone knows it's okay to have fears, to conquer them and to discard them, but in what order? And the same methods don't work for everybody. Like, to some people, calling a domestic violence hotline might not be the solution. They might not think that works, but you want to be stuck, you're going to be stuck. That's not what I want for anybody. So of course, I guess this is where I'm going to leave the video. I'm kind of out of ideas on how else to explain this further. But I hope that everyone has a great day. And of course, I will be making more videos as time goes on. And blessed be. See you guys.